What's up, my dudes? You thought the Spency boy was finished? Okay, Supercross 4 is finally out. Here we go, boys. Holy crap. It's about damn time. Sorry, I'm, not in Milestone's little YouTuber friend group that they have. Their little circle of boys that they give the games early to and fly them out to Supercross races and all that kind of stuff, right? I can promise you, it wouldn't have mattered. I could have 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, and Milestone's still not gonna give me anything early or anything like that, right? The Spency boy is way too real about these Milestone games, okay? So you guys have probably been seeing some videos on this game over the past like 4 or 5 months with a lot of those other YouTubers and stuff, but this is my very, very first time in this game. You can look up there, level 1, dog. We're first time in the game. So I came in here and made sure all my settings and stuff was right for this video, and I ran literally 1 lap on a track, singular uno. 1 lap on a track. That's literally all I've done in this game. So this is a first impressions video here, okay? This is not a full review of the game. I'm going to do that later. This is just simply a first impressions video. Real talking Spency boy. Let's get in here and see how this game is. Let's go to time attack. A little bit of 4 fatty action. A1. Eli Tomac. I think that's good. Let's go into the race options real quick. Boys, we got Ghost back. Holy crap. So in MXGP 2020, they took the Ghost out of the game, and now we have them back. So Supercross 4 is already better than MXGP 2020. Let's get in here. Let's get in here and see what we got. So I'm going to be making a crap load of videos on this game over the next, 2 or 3 weeks. So be sure and have the notification bell turned on for my channel if you want to get all those videos notified to you. But if not, it's all good. Let's get us a little bit of short gear ratio, a little more pep in my step. Let's, first things first, let me hit start. So you can hit start and hit right bumper, and that's how you can get in here and time attack and completely hide the Ghost in the game, right? So you can basically just ride around a track without having anybody around you, pretty much like free riding on any track in the game. That's how you do it. So yeah, I have my graphics maxed out, by the way. We're running maxed out graphics here, so let's take a look-ski at what we got here, bro. Definitely a different look to everything than it was in Supercross 3. There is no doubt about it. Let's see if we can actually somewhat get around this track without looking like a complete scrub at the game. Let's just see if we can. Ooh, okay. Little skill gappy triple entrance there. Okay. You can tell, okay, so one of the biggest things I can tell right away, and you should be able to tell this right away compared to any other Milestone game, is the freeness of the movement on the bike. I can already tell you right now, this is the freest movement on the bike I have felt in any Milestone game ever before. You can tell they have worked really hard with trying to give you that movement, that left to right, forward to backwards, not making the bike feel so stiff. There is freeness to the movement. You can feel it in the bike. That shit feels pretty good, dog. I'm not going to lie. That feels pretty good. Damn. Let's see here. But like I say, just remember, this is just first impressions. My opinions could change after I actually play this game quite a bit and go to some different tracks and stuff like that. But that's just one of the things I'm noticing right away. You're actually, jumping up in the air, you can tell the suspension is kind of working when you're coming off the jump faces more than it would have in previous Supercross games. You can tell you're kind of bouncing up off of the jump faces, right? It's got a little bit more bouncing inertia to the game than you would have had in previous Supercross games, and it just feels so, you don't really feel like restricted in any kind of way. There is so much more, like, a little spin out action right there. I figured that was going to happen at some point. You should be able to tell, like, see how much I'm leaning back, able to lean back on the bike coming off these jump faces? Like, you could not really do that in it. I mean, you could kind of do that in previous Supercross games, but it wouldn't even really affect the way the bike came off of the jump trajectory-wise, right? It just wouldn't even really affect the bike, so it's kind of pointless anyways. But this definitely feels different. I mean, yeah, there is some similarities to Supercross 3. Like, I can tell once I get in the air and kind of start trying to whip the bike over, you can feel the similarities to Supercross 3, but it's definitely different at the same time. Like, there ain't no doubt about that. Yeah, the whip system, at least whipping both thumbsticks the same direction, feels pretty similar to Supercross 3. That's both okay. So it seems like they have sped up the whip animation when you turn both your thumbsticks opposite directions, like a old school style milestone type whip system before they made it to where in Supercross 3 where you could turn both your thumbsticks the same direction to whip. You guys remember the old school whip style where you had to turn both your thumbsticks opposite directions. Seems like you can pull that back quite a bit faster now, certainly than you could in Supercross 2 when that game first came out. That was hellacious how slow the bringing back the whips were on that. But like, it seems even faster bringing the whips back than it was in Supercross 3. Like, just the movement on the bike. Oh, and by the way, obviously I have all of my settings set up to, like, advanced or what, like, no handicap to the physics settings or anything. Like, it's all maxed out, you know, whatever you want to call it, pro physics or advanced physics and all that type of shit. Got all that shit going here, so there's no, you know, I'm feeling the full effect of the physics system of the game right now. Let's go to a different track here, just kind of get a vibe of some of the different tracks. Let me figure out what I'm doing. I do kind of like the menus, the menu screens and stuff. Those are it's pretty cool how they've kind of went down this, like, blue, modernized looking, I don't really know any other way to explain it, but it looks a lot better than that basic bunch of white background crap they did in, like, MXGP 2019 and stuff like that. Definitely looks cool. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to another track right quick, Ski. But yeah, okay, so another thing you can kind of feel when you first get into the game. Let me get on a track here. Time attack. Okay, let's go to the old St. Louis in the Missouri. I've actually been to this real life stadium and track here before. Back in the old James Stewie on the JGR bike back in the day. Okay. So one thing you are going to notice when you first get into this game, you can definitely kind of feel the camera is somewhat struggling to, like, stay on the bike. Now, I do want to say that you do have custom camera options. You have a customized camera option right here where you can totally customize the third-person camera here. I'm not going to do anything right now because I'm trying to keep it, like, kind of standard for this first impressions video here, but you will kind of notice that, you know, camera kind of going all over the place, especially when you start really jumping up in the air and seat bouncing the bike, and you see the back wheel get out of frame right there. There's a lot of, like, camera movement. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God! Look at the air time on that jump right there. Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences. You actually feel like you're bouncing up in the air, whereas, you know, there's more of that, like, jumping up in the air inertia to this game versus, oh my God, that's a triple daddy. That is a 3 daddy. That's a triple nipple. We got to make sure we hit that. Oh, dude, look at how slow I'm going. Oh my God. You could see I was kind of like single in those, that rhythm section right there. And I almost came to a complete stop. That, like, had me totally slowed down. So if you mess up in a rhythm, there is definitely, even if you don't pop off the bike, there's definitely a, like, risk. You know, you're going to go slower. There's a momentum loss when you come up short on stuff. sometimes in a lot of these milestone games, they create too much of a momentum loss. I know there's a weird little thing in Supercross 3 where it kind of felt like sometimes you just land, not even really land wrong, but you would still like lose a crazy amount of momentum for no real apparent reason, right? There was kind of that issue in Supercross 3. It does seem to be a little somewhat alleviated in this. It doesn't seem to be as bad in this right here. But yeah, just the freeness, the movement on the bike, like that's the big difference you're going to notice with this thing right away. You can tell they didn't try to make the tracks too one-to-one scaling. That's a really big positive. Okay. Little rhythm right there. Kind of cool. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah, there still is a little bit of that mobile motocross game type look to it when you're jumping up in the air and shit. Yeah, there still is a little bit of that for sure. You know, it's not just like, oh my God, this game is completely perfect, right? Like there's still, like I'm saying, the camera kind of moves kind of crazy like a mobile motocross game would kind of be, kind of gives you a little bit of that look to everything. But as far as the feeling on the bike and the movement and specifically the leaning forward and backwards, that's where I'm noticing the biggest difference in it. Leaning forward and backwards is like big time improved, it seems like. And even the leaning left and right, it just feels like you got more of that, just, you know, more of that inertia movement. So that's definitely cool. Yeah, in the corners, they have pretty much eliminated almost all of the sliding effect to the game. They're kind of going down more of that, like, kind of making it more just like you don't even really have to think about it when you're going into the corner. Let me see what I'm doing. Let me try to actually hit the gas hard in a corner here. It just feels like you have a ton of traction everywhere, you know? Like you're not really going to slide your ass end out just from getting on the gas too hard. Doesn't really feel like that's going to happen in this game, which is an interesting, you know, kind of change to this. Definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys have experienced in this game. I'd like to take a look at that. Like I said, I'm going to be making a lot more videos on this game. Probably been doing 2 videos a day on this game, so be sure you have my channel all notifications on the notification bell turned on, or you're not even going to get half of the notifications, and I'm going to be uploading a bunch of videos on this. So just, you know, just letting you know on that. Not a whole lot of pre-made, like ruts or anything like that. I'm not really seeing anything like that. There is some character to the 2 tracks that I've wrote on here so far. There is some. It's not like perfectly, you know, jump-based, everything's perfectly built. You can feel there is definitely some character in the corners, even though they don't really have a whole lot of ruts in them. There is some character to them. But yeah, that would be about the biggest takeaway I could kind of explain here. The graphics are not just like blowing me away or anything. I would almost argue that like MXGP 2020 might actually look a little better than this. That may be crazy me saying that, I don't know. But that may actually be the case, I don't know. It's not like, it definitely doesn't seem to be any better graphics than MXGP 2020, you know what I mean? I can certainly say that for sure, which is fine. Like, I would rather them work on the physics and the feeling on the bike and shit than the graphics. But I just wanted to point that out, like, but, yeah, so terrain deformation's not doing a whole lot here. You can kind of, I mean, it's doing some. You can definitely see it more than you could in MXGP 2020. MXGP 2020, there really was no terrain deformation system in that at all. So this is looking decent. That's about where I would put this right now, decent. The jump faces are cool. They're not like trying to be too small, one-to-one scaling. There's a cool, like, you know, popping up in the air, suspension unloading on the jump faces, popping up in the air. You got to actually kind of be like prepared when you come off a jump face. You can't just be on the gas everywhere and never lean on the bike. That's not going to work. You know, there's more of a leaning forward and backwards inertia, freeness, movement to the bike. Those are some of the heavy hitter things that I'm noticing here. You know, you actually got some rhythm skill gap. See, the only way you're going to slide out is if you come into a corner and you like almost come to a complete stop and you kind of get on the brakes and you end up sliding your ass end out from getting on the brakes. You know what I'm saying? You're not really just going to slide out from like banging it into these corners and then maybe I need to put my brakes on joint brakes because I'm kind of struggling to stop as fast as I want to. Or you could definitely quad that over the tabletop. See, there is definitely the more leaning forward and backwards potential that they have here definitely is opening up the doors for more, you know, bigger line options, bigger rhythm options here, no doubt. So either way, that's pretty much my first impressions on it. Tough blocks don't feel too bad. You can see I just ran right into them right there. I know we had a big issue with that in Supercross 3. See that right there? Like, you can just almost stretch that out. You would be able to do that if you never let off the gas in that corner. But tough blocks seem to feel okay, not like literal center blocks like they did in Supercross 3. So just my own first little impression video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be spitting these puppies out like crazy coming soon here. So either way, don't forget to go follow me up on Instagram at Spencer Turley, no spaces and no capital letters. DM me on Instagram if you want to get in my Discord, and I'll get you in my Discord. And you can go add me up on Snapchat, follow me on Twitter. All that stuff is just Spencer Turley, no spaces and no capital letters. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.